Section 3 of creating a contractor ergonomics program to reduce soft tissue injuries among construction workers presents the key steps in developing an ergonomics program for your company. The complete program is available on the Best Built Plans Contractor Training Program page found at www.bestbuiltplans.org. This contractor program is part of the Best Built Plans program, which includes resources to help you plan and train for safe materials handling at each phase of your project to reduce the risk of soft tissue injuries. To address ergonomic hazards and to reduce the risk of soft tissue injuries, you need to build an ergonomics program. Your program will help you create a culture focused on ergonomics. The most important ingredients needed to build your program are listed on your screen. First, you must have management commitment. This is not just a commitment to having the company addressing ergonomics, but a commitment to having management actively participate in developing and implementing the program over time. I want to emphasize a culture cannot change without management showing true commitment, and the effort must be consistent over time. Conducting a one-time toolbox talk or telling workers informally to lift properly is not enough to cause a change. Second, workers must be included in creating and implementing the program. You need their involvement to get their buy-in, to help you identify hazards and related solutions, and to help them understand what you want them to do. They should also help review the progress of the program over time. Third, you must have a plan for creating your program. This should include a company goal for ergonomics and some clear steps to take to achieve your goal. Finally, you should communicate your plan and program to everyone in your company. You should also include several activities from your ergonomics plan that are delivered over time. Building a company ergonomics program and creating an ergonomics culture takes time. You can start by assembling a small team, including representatives from all employee levels, have a meeting to lay out an approach, establish your goal, and develop a schedule and next steps. What should an ergonomics program include? First, your ergonomics goals, the ergonomic hazards you want to address. To establish your goals, you need to consider the common ergonomic hazards in your company. Once you've set your goals, then you need to develop the 5 key elements of your program. The first element is creating a plan to mitigate the hazards in work tasks. The next 3 elements focus on the methods to mitigate these hazards. They include defining the work processes or steps for how the work can be done to control the hazards, making sure that proper ergonomic equipment is available, and training employees to ensure they have the knowledge and awareness of ergonomic work processes and proper use of the equipment. And the last step is engaging in an ergonomic review to check to see if the ergonomics program is working as planned. One part of this final element is conducting a final review, a look back at the end of a project to understand what worked well and what did not work as planned, so that lessons learned can be applied to improve future projects. These elements should be systematically applied to every construction project. The hazard identification process will serve as the foundation of the program you develop and should highlight what is of greatest concern or risk in your company. You may identify the ergonomic hazards you want to address in one of the following 3 ways. One approach is to review your OSHA log or injury records to see which tasks or events cause soft tissue injuries. This may not be the best approach for all companies because most companies are too small to have enough injuries to actually see a pattern of cause. Another approach is to conduct an ergonomic hazards assessment of common work tasks. An ergonomic hazards checklist can help. This simple checklist asks you to list the common work tasks, identify ergonomic hazards in each task, and then prioritize the list of hazards to address the highest risk tasks first. This method is feasible for many companies, but not all. Finally, you may want to consider starting by addressing the task of manual materials handling, since this is the most common ergonomic hazard in the construction industry, often associated with 40% of non-fatal injuries. The pre-job checklist shown on this slide is an example of a checklist that can be used to identify manual materials handling ergonomic hazards and solutions. Regardless of the approach, you should reach out to your employees to get their input. Once you've identified your goals for the ergonomic hazards, you will be ready to develop the 5 key elements of your ergonomics program touched on earlier in this presentation and shown on this slide. Most companies will start to build a basic program and include a simple activity or process for each of the key elements listed on the left side of the slide: project and task planning, work practices, equipment, knowledge and awareness, and review. The basic program is applied to project level activities. These may be done on one or more projects to get started. Over time, you should apply the same program activities or processes to all of your projects. As the ergonomic programs begins to grow within your company, the program will become more advanced and then comprehensive. These levels are achieved when a company has created a company-level program and systematically applies the same activities and processes throughout the company and on all projects. This graphic shows examples of activities across all elements of a basic ergonomics program. Project planning tools may include worksheets to help identify ergonomic hazards and solutions to address in the project bid, or for pre-job and daily planning of best ergonomic methods and work tasks. Workers are trained on simple ergonomic techniques such as proper lifting and teamwork. Workers are provided with ergonomic PPE such as knee pads or floor movers. And toolbox talks on ergonomic topics are used to increase worker awareness and knowledge. The review element at this stage primarily relies on the OSHA log, which is a crude measure of a program's progress at best. As the company's ergonomic program develops and advances, a contractor will monitor planning from what was bid on the job for the ergonomic equipment to what was actually used during the project. The program may expand to include policies such as lifting limits and requirements for how to lift loads of different weights manually or by mechanical means. Steps to ensure there is an adequate supply of ergonomic equipment, a way to monitor whether or not workers had the ergonomic equipment when needed, and may include an annual budget to purchase a supply of ergonomic equipment. Ergonomics training in the new employee orientation, and use of project-written audits that record the use of equipment and work processes to review ergonomic methods. This ends Section 3, which explains what's involved in creating an ergonomics program. Section 4 describes in more detail the importance of and how to create the key elements into your program.